Hey everyone, Francis here from What a Hell of a Way to Die. If you've been wondering how you can support myself and Nate here on the show, check out our Patreon at patreon.com/hellofawaytodie. Joining the Patreon at any level gets you access to our Discord server, one bonus episode a month, and early access to interviews. At the $5 level, you'll get more bonus content and an opportunity to vote on monthly Zoo Crew episodes. And at the $10 and up level, you'll get exclusive stickers, patches, and pins sent out to you every quarter. Your support means that we can keep our regular episodes free and make sure we don't have to rely on advertisers. If you can, please consider joining and supporting your two favorite veteran dads. We have our very first opening number, Honor to Us All, where Mulan is introduced as kind of tomboyish. She doesn't really fit into the society that's going on there, which is, a big theme for Disney, the princess that doesn't fit in and she wants to go off and do her own thing. So we have our first Honor to Us All, which is, I think, I think all the musical numbers in here are really well done. And this is a good one to open up on. We're introduced to the cricket. We're introduced to the family, Mulan, all these great characters.
Well, and it is so. I didn't remember the songs in this hitting as hard as they did. That's one I didn't remember, other than not Be a Man. I Can Make You a Man. I'm blanking on the name of it myself, but that's like the one that I remembered from this the most. But like, I think the songs in this go toe to toe with some of the best Disney stuff. I think there's some really good stuff, and I think one of the things that this movie did, because again, having gone into it, having not seen it in so long, I forgot, because there's always, not always, but oftentimes there's like an animal sidekick, and I won't even call it a complaint because, obviously Mushu and Lucky are wonderful sidekicks, but I wish Little Brother had gotten more time because it might be the cutest dog animation in any movie ever.
Yeah, he was a fun little guy. The addition of Eddie Murphy is very interesting because I love Eddie Murphy just like as an evolving character throughout the last couple of decades. Like, this is the only voice acting he's done is this and Shrek, and that's it.
And I had to double check which came first last night, because I was like, I feel like, wait, did they do this did they pick Murphy because of Shrek for Mushu? Because it does seem kind of like a weird choice in this movie to have Eddie Murphy do Mushu.
Right, and he's fantastic at it. But it is a, like, I feel like in the 90s, Disney took a few more chances about who they could kind of add into these, because, this is a heavy Asian cast. Mm-hmm. Other than the guy who voices Yao, everybody is Asian. Not necessarily Chinese, but is Asian.
Well, Miguel Ferrer.
But we have this wonderful tapestry that they lay out for the beginning of it, where we meet everybody. We meet Mulan. We get our first really great song. She fails at matchmaking. I don't know how. She doesn't pour tea correctly, and now nobody's going to want to marry her.
Right.
Because in this world, the only thing that you could do as a woman is make babies for the make soldiers for the emperor, basically. So all of the honor of her family gets tied into, like, there's never just like, oh, what if I don't like the guy? It's just like, I just have to do this because that's the important thing, is bringing honor to the family by getting married, apparently.
Yeah, and becoming like a baby factory.
Yeah, that's all you can do when you're a woman in rural China, I guess. We get another really great song called Reflection. This is one of Christina Aguilera's very early songs, and it's kind of considered one of the ones that springboarded her career afterwards. This is a very short song of lamentation. Who am I meant to be? Another heavy theme in a lot of the princess movies of, I don't seem to fit in. What am I supposed to do? Who am I supposed to be? And again, really, really wonderful song.
Oh yeah, I mean, I forgot that Christina Aguilera had anything to do with this, and as soon as the voice started, I was like, I know this voice. Like, I had to check who it was, because I listened to this on Spotify, but I didn't look at the track listing to see who sang it. Like, I didn't realize Donny Osmond was the
singer. Yeah,
yeah.
He's the singer for our main character. Shen. Shan Yu is the bad guy. Got Mushu, Li Sheng, that's right.
Yeah, Li Sheng.
Li, and like I said, the only non Asian person in there is the person who plays Yao as well, who specifically did not want to because he's like, this is, I'm not Asian. This seems wrong. And they said, no, we're going to have plenty. It reminds me of the movie Coco, which is a movie that has an all Hispanic cast, but also the guy was like, I can't be the one person who makes a Pixar movie and doesn't put John Ratzenberger in it. So he's like, I have to put him in there because we just do that. But so it's like, it's a movie with all Hispanic actors and John Ratzenberger to add it in. You got to round it out. All right. So Mulan, the Huns are coming. The conscription notices go out, a male from every household. Mulan's father, who is always walking with a cane and very slow and very old.
The worst person to conscript.
Right. But you need bodies. You need things to churn into red paste underneath the Huns. Because again, like historically, that's kind of what you peasants were. It's like if you're not farming, you should be dying on a battlefield somewhere. So Mulan takes it upon herself to not watch her father go and get killed off on a battlefield in his old age. Steals his horse, steals the sword, and runs off to join the encampment.
Now, this is where last night I messaged you because, again, I'm not going to keep beating this horse, but I hadn't seen this in a long time. And I kind of forgot like even how the plot went. And I messaged you about this part because then I started to remember, okay, yes, then she goes and she's the one who, when I messaged you last night, I was more so thinking about like, could you imagine how miserable the conversation around this movie would have been in the age of the culture wars?
Ben Shapiro would be so hopping mad at this. There would be so many tweets about being a man, but and how many, like, honestly, there's a.
I was just thinking every freak angle that could come at it. Like you've had Ben Shapiro being mad that like this movie shows that like women could fight in war. He'd be out there, with this women can't fight in the war, his bullshit. And like I think you'd have like the groomer people being like they'd think there was some sort of trans message in here or something. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like it would be fucking awful.
Yeah, and when the live action Mulan came out in 2020, I never saw that. The only live action remake of a Disney movie that I've watched is Aladdin, which I'm like the one person that kind of liked that movie. So, but for the most part, I don't watch the live action remakes. They're generally pretty terrible.
And I always forget that even happened. The live action Mulan, I forgot about that.
Yeah, and there is a 2009 Mulan. There's a lot of Mulan, honestly. The Chinese have been doing Mulan plays for centuries at this point in various incantations, but the same, different ways of ending, maybe different plot points, but still the same woman disguises as man, goes to war, wins wars. The same kind of concept. So there has been a lot of Mulan. The most recent Mulan movie, other than the American one, 2009, there's a Chinese one that I've found on YouTube. Great thing about like wanting to watch Chinese movies is because there's no intellectual property rights. And kind of, China also doesn't really consider our stuff intellectual property. So, you can just put it on YouTube and nobody's going to give a shit. And there's always, subtitles and everything. It's great. So
yeah, it's a great resource for.
Yeah, I will probably be watching. I think I watched the Battle of Lake Changjin, which is a fantastic movie if you ever get around to it. It's the Chinese side of the Battle of Chosin River in the Korean War, and it's a Chinese movie because there's mostly Chinese soldiers that were fighting, and it's very propaganda-y, and a lot of people gave it shit for that. Like, I don't know, have you ever seen an American war movie? Like, what do you think? What do you think all that shit is?
Yeah, watch any even non-war movies are like, one thing I was looking at my notes and I before we move into anything else, I forgot to mention this. So you know how Mulan has like answers written on her arm when she does before we move, because we moved past that, I forgot to. I started laughing last night watching this because a couple years ago at the school that I'm at, a student who's like a really nice kid. Doesn't do anything wrong, never gets in trouble. In one of her classes, apparently didn't study and had written all of the answers on her hand. And when the teacher walked by, she was like, I could just imagine it, like her being like, act cool, act normal, and went to throw him a high five with the answers on her hand. And got caught fucking cheating when she went to like throw him a high five. And I just watching that last night, I'd forgotten that, completely forgotten that it happened. I started laughing at that. I just cheated like a normal person. I would just, when the teacher wasn't looking, flip to whatever page in the book I needed or something. You know what I mean? I didn't write answers down on my arm or anything.
Right. No, you got to write it on a little tiny piece of paper that you can eat later so you can destroy the evidence. That was my move once. And I just was like, you know what's easier? Studying.
Just
probably.
study, right.